You are now listening to the fastest show on IE Sports Radio. My name is Daryl Kinsey Jr. Welcoming you to the Lap an Extra Mile for today, January 13th, 2025, and a brand new season is upon us. The racing season is just around the corner, and to help me get you ready for the new season is my co-host, Jen B.
Hello!
Everybody watching, thank you so much for joining us again in 2025. Whether you're watching live or listening on the re-air, we thank you for checking out the Extra Mile once again. So, before we get started, and of course before we get into paying our bills and getting on with the program, the first two letters in IE Sports Radio stand for Inglewood Empire, and that is located in California. And currently, California is seeing quite literally the most apocalyptic wildfires we have seen in quite some time and probably ever. The scenes coming out of LA have just been horrifying, and we just want to come out and say, pray for Los Angeles as they fight these horrific forest fires. There are several organizations that are out donating things to those that have, quite frankly, lost everything, and we want to send our prayers and our thoughts to those in Los Angeles. And we just want to say that we are thinking of all of you during this trying time. And hopefully, if you're listening, that hopefully this show can be a distraction for even a little while from what has been a completely devastating situation out there. So we're going to go ahead and do what seems trivial, which is to pay some bills, and we'll get on with the conversation for the 2025 season.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single-A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
And We are back here on the Extra Mile on iSports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Man, it's nice to say that as we are back. And I'm so proud of how long this show has gone. It's Taryn Rodriguez who is in our chat. I keep hitting the wrong button. It's preseason for everybody, guys. I'm sorry. But just let me know this fact. We are one away from 300 episodes here on the Extra Mile. And I have no idea how to feel about that, to be honest. Larry B can tell the story better than I, but I was just watching the Rolex 24 when I got hit up to ask to do this show. And I thought it would be a fun little hobby. And here I am 300 episodes later. I've absolutely loved every moment of this. And we're going to have to try to figure out something special to do for 300. We're definitely going to have Larry B on and just commiserate. But thank you, everybody that has listened. Thank you, everybody that's been a part of it, past and present, all our previous hosts. Thank you. I couldn't have done this without you. So let's go ahead and get into the show. And I guess we'll start with everybody's favorite game from when we were in elementary school. What did you do during the vacation? And for me, it would be what did you do during the off season? And I think Gen B, for you and I think it was getting stuck in the NFL season. And one of us had fun and the other had to watch Deshaun Watson play quarterback.
Yeah. Well, Deshaun Watson was gone before the racing season ended, so.
Oh, thank goodness.
I watched Jameis Winston and then DTR play quarterback. But it was definitely more fun watching the Cavs.
Yes.
So,
the Cavs are absolutely
yes
on fire right now. And meanwhile, the Wizards just got beat, I think, by like 50 a couple nights ago. They are just Ted's got to sell that team. I'm sorry. It's over, dude. You just I don't get it. The Capitals, he runs so well.
Yeah.
And then we see the Wizards and they're just crap. But during the off season, I went to a couple of Commanders games, got to see them clinch the playoffs, scream my head off both times. Went to see the Ravens clinch the AFC North, got to experience Bailey Zappi at quarterback, and which I didn't because that was horrible. Other than that, it's been getting stuck into the NFL and getting really excited for my trip to the Rolex 24 next week, which is now upon us, and obsessing over the weather report to make sure it wasn't going to snow during the days that we have to fly out. Thankfully, we won't, so we'll be flying out A-OK. It won't be the weather that slows us down.
That's always a plus.
Yes.
Because the weather.
So, Jen, how was your off season?
Not too bad. The Cavs and the Blue Jackets are both playing pretty well. I watched the Browns pretty much just so I can talk about them because there's really nothing interesting to see there. But I've got Ohio State in the college football championship. And
hey, you got something to celebrate there.
Yes. And, the Cavs are playing amazingly. And the Blue Jackets are currently in the playoff hunt. So it's not been all bad.
Yeah, your Blue Jackets are doing well. My Caps are apparently leading the conference because that's what you do with the aging, rebuilding squad with an old guy just chasing a longevity record, right? You just completely dominate in ways you haven't since the 90s.
Yep.
Sports are weird. That's all I can say. But it has been fun. Unfortunately, we both had to dig out from a pretty massive snowstorm.
Yes.
Our snow is starting to melt. Yours is not. But
nope, it's not going anywhere anytime soon.
No. But hey, We're thawing out, which means racing is coming once again. And of course, it is time for my favorite race of the year. If you've watched this show, you guys know I obsess over the Rolex 24 at Daytona. It was one of the first races I ever watched on TV. It is amazing. And finally, I am getting to knock it off the bucket list for my 35th birthday, which is on Saturday. Hoping the Commanders also bring me an NFC Championship game berth as a extra birthday present. But so excited to finally be going to this race. And it is a GTP category that's really starting to grow its legs now, Jen. We have Acura, we have Cadillac, we have Porsche, all those cars that are coming together and coming into their own. We also have we have BMW as well, so I can't forget them. We have new competitors coming in Aston Martin, though they won't be in Daytona. They will be at Sebring. I am very sad because I wanted to hear that V12 scream around Daytona. I got to watch some of the videos of that car. Absolutely magnificent sound. I'm so sad it's not going to be in Daytona. But it's a race that I think is a great wake-up. And it's like the first day of school now for motorsports, where everybody just comes together. There's nothing else on. We all get together on social media, watch the Rolex 24, and try to figure out how we're going to stay up for all 24 hours of this thing.
Yes. Yes, Michael has joined us.
Yes, he has. I was wondering. I didn't even see you there, Michael. I'm so sorry. I hope you weren't there long.
No, I wasn't long, just enjoying the conversation. What's going on, everybody?
Michael
Happy
Ward
first
joining
show
us
of
once
the
again.
year.
Yes.
And I'm 30 now.
Hey, happy birthday!
Yeah, join the 30 gang. And
Join
I was
the
rewarded
club.
with back pain.
You have been gifted your 30-year-old random pain for no reason. Mine is my left leg, and I don't know what it is. And at this point, I'm too scared to go to the doctor to find out. It's not actually that serious. But
All right.
so, Michael, late arriving, but good to see you again. What did you do during this off season other than turn 30?
Other than turn 30, honestly, I've just been chasing the bag like usual.
I think that's all of us right now.
I've just been chasing the bag, honestly, and it's been an experience. Just I've just been grinding. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I've been relearning how to video edit, so that's been a fun experience. So yeah.
Well, that's great, and we're glad to have you back again. And I actually need to get into some video editing myself, but we are getting into the Rolex 24, and we have an expanded hypercar class. Ford might be joining it soon. There's rumors Corvette may be coming up as well. It's always this race that kind of sets the table for the rest of the IMSA season. And it's the most important race of the year because without getting into the convoluted nature of the IMSA scoring system, the endurance races have the most points. The Rolex 24 has the most points of all of them because it's the longest race of the season. It's one of the few championships where theoretically you can win the championship in the first race. Because if you win this race, it makes the rest of the season so much easier. If you crash out and finish down the order, your entire season just got harder because that's 300 points that are going to be hard to find the rest of the season.
For sure, and Porsche demonstrated this last year. Won the race, and then it just kept running away with it. And that's another question I have for you guys. Do you think Porsche is going to continue its dominant, string that it had last year? They won both titles last year. They won IMSA and they won WEC. So it's just, are they going to win it again this year? Or are they going to, stumble around because maybe this year a lot of teams have figured out what they need in order to win?
I think they're going to be hard to beat. I know the WEC was different because they split the championships between Toyota and Porsche, but I think the other brands, they have a rabbit now to chase. So we know they're going to be innovating. I think Cadillac is bringing a couple of innovations. We know in WEC, Ferrari is going to be tough. Toyota is going to be tough. So it's going to be challenging, I think, over there in WEC. And in IMSA, you just don't know. The racing is a lot more hands-on because IMSA actually lets them make contact. So I think they're going to get roughed up a lot more, especially with the Taylors returning, I think, to Acura.
Yes,
that's going to be fun.
Yes, Wayne Taylor Racing is returning to Cadillac. And
to Cadillac, right.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if they got a little bit of. They haven't won they haven't been winning like they've been wanting to, and I think now it's time. Now they're gonna definitely have their, return to form here with Cadillac.
Yep, I think they're back to machinery that they understand.
Coming up short there, Daryl.
Yeah, I think they are tired of.
Yeah, I think they're
watching
gonna have a
Porsche and everyone run away with it. And to my earlier point,
and then, Alpine may still be coming out, and Acura might be still. It's a lot of crazy things happening in IMSA.
Yeah, IMSA always a lot of fun, and we go into, and to my point earlier, Windward Racing ended up winning the Rolex 24 and carried that into the GTD title. Also made a artist on Twitter very happy because their sticker was in the car during that Rolex 24. But the challenge is always going to be at Daytona, the traffic, because you have 61 cars. That infield area is very narrow, and we've seen some big hits there between the two classes, even though it's three classes now with GTD, which is just GT3 cars, LMP2 and Hypercar. It's still a challenge. And what I'm going to be looking at when I'm there is how the traffic is negotiated. Because I think this goes without saying when it comes to endurance racing, Jen, the folks that can get through the traffic the best are the ones that are usually going to be successful in these races.
Absolutely. Last year was the first year that I actually watched this race. Larry was talking about it in the group chat, and I was like, what? A 24-hour race? I got to check this out. And I watched probably about 12 hours of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very interesting to see it, and the different types of cars all on the same track. Never seen anything like it, but I enjoyed it. I'm definitely going to check it out again this year.
Yeah, IMSA has the most unique form of racing, and right now I think it's the hottest racing going on right now. They just can't find enough spots at Daytona to bring everybody. I think they said during last year,
you got 61 cars there. You have 60-something cars there.
Yeah, they had like 80 entry requests. Like, they have a reserve list as long as the 24 Hours of Le Mans now. And I think it just shows that this race is gaining importance, and the best thing that has happened to it is that it is more internationally linked with everybody else, because the Hypercar is the same car they run in Europe. LMP2 is the same car they run around the world. You can throw a rock and hit a GT3 series anywhere. Like, I'm pretty sure Kazakhstan has a GT3 series. I don't know where they race it. It exists. It just happens that way.
Every major country every major region in the world has a GT3 series.
Yeah. Pretty sure China does, but we never get to see it. But just like we're not going to see TikTok anymore after.
I was going to say, maybe they'll put it on TikTok after they ban it.
But we're running out of time there.
Yeah. They've got the homologation now with the rest of the world, and now all these cars can just come in and run this race, and you got all these teams. You're never going to be lacking for teams And the fact that IMSA is so attractive, it's going to be throngs of people down there. And I'm going to be spamming you guys with pics, both on social media and to our iSports Radio group. So just letting y'all know now, you're going to see a lot more of Daytona than you ever wanted to see. But there's going to be so many people. It's such a popular race. And the question is, who's going to bring it home? In GT, we haven't seen Corvette win it in a while. I think they have got to be due at some point. LMP2, always a dogfight. And in Hypercar, where the manufacturers are fighting, Cadillac wants to bring that championship back home to America, or that win back home to America. So all these manufacturers are going to be fighting. And the one thing you have to avoid, do not get involved in the early hour shenanigans. Because, Michael, we've seen it every year. A team that thinks they can win. We saw it last year at Lexus. 2 hours in, one of their cars gets absolutely destroyed and just ruins their whole day.
Yep. Ruins their whole day, and then they have to scramble to come back. And I think it's just more so along the lines of hoping to be lucky when you're coming back.
Mm-hmm.
More than anything that gets you that in endurance racing. You see, either you're lucky and you come back, or you're not.
Yeah, it is a situation of luck and skill when you are racing in the Rolex, in IMSA racing in general. But the Rolex is just 24 hours. It's one of those races where the race kind of chooses who's going to win. Like Indianapolis chooses its champions, so does the Rolex. And you have to be consistent. For all four drivers have to be consistent for 24 hours. And we've said this the last few years that it's a 24-hour sprint race. With the new rule changes, how bulletproof the cars are, and how highly skilled and specialized the drivers now, it is 10 tenths from the green flag to the checkered flag that makes the race more interesting for us, but also makes it more nerve-wracking for the teams, because you do not get a chance to really pace yourself and let the engines rest during that 24 hours. And not just the engines. You got suspension pieces that are getting hurt, the electronics, which are extremely sensitive in these cars. You got the hybrid powertrains that they're not as sensitive as they used to be, but you're hitting bumps, you're taking G-forces, all that for 24 hours. It just does something to a car. And you just don't know what's going to break no matter what you test until you come to the 24 hours of Daytona, you run the race, and you're going to find out what does and does not break on your car. But we will have some racing before the Rolex. The VP Sports Car Challenge will get started during the Roar before the 24, the 3-day test, which starts this Friday. And after that, next week, we go racing in IMSA with the Rolex 24. I will be there. Plenty of video and picture content for me. And I can't wait to see it. Michael, how excited are you for the Rolex?
I'm always excited for this race. Are you kidding me?
And Jen, you saw it for the first time last year. You're going to try to
Yes, I'm
watch
definitely going to be watching at least some of it. I don't know how much I'll get to watch with my husband home, because he's not into racing, but I'll pull it up on my phone.
Yeah, see, you got to get the second screen. The second screen
Yes.
is going to be the savior.
Oh, you know what? I actually figured out how to get stuff to work on my laptop. So maybe I'll bring that down so it's a little bit bigger than my phone.
Nice. So, hey, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to get into more of our season previews. A lot has changed with NASCAR and the damaged vehicle policy. It's going to be a lot less punishing starting this year. We'll talk about that on the other side of this break here on the Extra Mile on iSports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hello, sports fans. It's me, your boy Larry B, and I want to walk you through the world of sports. No. Not just the mainstream major TV deal type sports, although those are important too. But let me be your guide through your journey of all sports, from college to the pros, the minors, and everything in between. Each week, we are talking sports galore with true diehards just like you from a hardcore fan's perspective that's sure to quench your thirst around leagues you may know all too well and some you may even discover here. That's right, sports fans. If you love sports of all kinds, enjoy hearing amazing sports stories, and respect all sports because you know how difficult any of them can be to play or compete in, then this is your show. Join me, your boy Larry B, on the defining moment each week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports, and let the sports come to you.
What's up, New York? This is Ricky K coming at you at the NY State of Sports, a new show here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Listen to me every Thursday afternoon as we bring you the latest takes on the Yankees, Mets, Jets, Giants, Knicks, Nets, Rangers, Devils, and Islanders. Plus, you get some college hoops and what's the local sports events going on in the area. It's a state that never sleeps, so why not get the opinions and sports takes that never sleep? Again, every Thursday, 2 p.m. to the NY State of Sports. We'll see you then.
And we're back here on the Extra Mile on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Daryl, Jen, Michael, here with you this evening. Chris will be joining us later in the year. Well, not that later, but he will be joining us soon. And we're back here to talk about some NASCAR. And when we left, NASCAR was being sued. They're still being sued. That lawsuit is going to be heard by the end of this year. To bring you up to speed on the latest legal wranglings, NASCAR's motion to to dismiss the suit, I believe that was last week, was denied. Also, and I've never heard this one before, their demand for the plaintiffs to pay a bond was also denied. Gonna have to look into what that is. I've never heard about plaintiffs paying bond in civil cases before, but that case between NASCAR 2311 and Front Row Motorsports will be, unfortunately, Guy and Jen, will be in the background for most of the season as we try to figure out what's going to happen with that and whether or not some change is going to come into NASCAR that's sorely needed. Oop, you're unmuted. I am so sorry.
Oh, I'm muted? No.
Yep, I'm so sorry. It's preseason for everybody, guys.
I was talking to God there for a second. But yeah, I think everybody's going to be interested in seeing what's happening. What's going to happen with that.
Yeah. I've never heard of a bond in a civil case either, so that is interesting.
Well, I have Google here, so I will Google.
Google is always right, except when it isn't.
So according to Brunswick Companies, a judicial bond is a type of court bond that guarantees court costs are secured. Civil court proceedings require judicial bonds when someone involved in a lawsuit seeks a special right or remedy in advance of a final court decision. So that is what a judicial bond is in a civil case. See, we're educational.
Woohoo! The extra mile plus law school.
Yes. So let's get away from any more non-legal advice and get into something that we're much more comfortable talking about, which is the racing. And getting into this season, other than people complaining about whether or not Joey Logano should have won the championship, which, yes, get over it. The damaged vehicle policy is having a massive change. For one, it's going to be 7 minutes. Second, if a car cannot be repaired on pit lane in 7 minutes, the car will be taken to the garage. However, there is unlimited time in the garage to fix the car to bring it back out onto the racetrack.
Oh.
So
So
we
no
are
more
no
DNFs?
Yep.
Nice.
So a broken toe link will no longer be a DNF. Also, if we have a situation where all 4 tires are flat due to a spin, the car will be taken to the garage. They'll be able to put the tires on it and come back out onto the racetrack. So the most important part, I think, for all of this, and I think we're all excited for, the DVP will no longer end your race.
Yay.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is not true.
And my question, and what I'm wondering now is if we're going to see a return of some of the crash carts we saw when the chase was getting serious, where I think Jimmy Johnson crashed and they basically rebuilt the car in the garage. I'm wondering if we're going to see more of that. But also for old time fans, the return of the modified Cup car will be back out there. We'll see the Cup cars with the nose cut off and you can see the engine. Once again, we might see some of those next gen style rolling around this year.
Cars held together by
By
duct tape and a dream.
Yep. It's always fun to see those damaged cars get back out onto the
F1,
racetrack.
the car is too expensive to repair. NASCAR. It'll survive.
We have duct tape.
Fixes
We have
everything.
Yes, we have duct tape, a baseball bat, and a concrete saw. We will put this car back out there, come hell or high water. So as we come into this season, obviously there are teams to watch. We know what the big teams are. We'll start with Hendrick Motorsports, and I think they are on a redemption tour from 2024 because I think we can say their season was a failure.
100%.
They had 4 cars to start the playoffs in the top 16. Nobody made it to nobody made it to Phoenix. For a team of that pedigree, that's an absolute failure.
Agreed.
Still surprising.
It was, and it's one of those things where people talk about, this is why the playoffs is bad. No, this is why the playoffs are good, because now all 36 races matter.
Right.
Like, you have to continue that pace you were on at the start of the season to the end of the season, or you're done. And that's what happened to Hendrick Motorsports. They ran into issues, and they're done.
Yep.
And we will see how they run this season. Hopefully, we will see continued growth for William Byron and Alex Bowman. Look, start the rumors of him getting replaced now, because when those rumors were going around, he was a completely different driver.
Right.
He was absolutely whipping tail. And I think we just need to start those random rumors right now. Get the Roger Carruth to Hendrick 48 rumors started now. So we see Alex Bowman go on a tear. On the other side,
I would love to see that, to be honest with you.
Yes. I mean, I would eventually, but not now. I think Alex Bowman still deserves that seat. On the other side, Joe Gibbs Racing, the question will always be, is this the year Denny Hamlin finally wins a championship?
No.
Jesus. Y'all were way too quick with that.
As much as I love Denny Hamlin, let's be honest.
He's got too much going on the outside.
And you know what? I didn't even think about that, but he does have a lot going on with the lawsuit and trying to run 2311, and the fact that his longtime sponsor at FedEx has left NASCAR, because unfortunately FedEx is having some financial constraints. He's got a lot of balls that are in the air that he's trying to juggle, and I think that makes it harder when he's trying to win a championship. I'm going to stick my neck out there, and I say I think this is the year he's going to win the championship and then beat NASCAR in the law or in the courtroom. I think that
would be amazing. That would be poetic.
He's going to win the championship at the end of the year, and then he's going to win his lawsuit against them about the charter. That is my bold prediction for 2025.
I like it.
So Penske Motorsports, they have the champion, Joey Logano. I think this is the year they take a step back. I can't say that they were very streaky, and that goes for the Fords in general. They would have weeks where it was like 90s level domination, and then they would disappear. I think this is a year they're going to take a step back. I don't think Joey Logano is going to repeat as champion. However, if he is in striking distance of the pay window, y'all better you better make sure he's dead. Because if you don't kill him, he's going to kill you and win the championship. We saw that last year when the 48 decided to do what they did. They gave Logano a second chance, and he took it.
Yep.
And I think Joey Logano gets way too much hatred for that. I think he gets way too much hatred in general.
When it happened, I said hate the game, not the player.
Yeah. And I think y'all hate the game a little bit too much, but that's a whole other story.
All the videos about how to fix the playoffs.
Jesus Christ. We don't need everybody's opinion on how to fix the playoffs, because it's just going to make it worse. Sometimes you just got to not touch it. That's the best way to fix something.
Jen, do you know how to fix the NASCAR playoff system?
Leave it alone.
Exactly.
That's not the answer the public wanted you to say.
Ah, well, I'm not a people pleaser.
Oh, man.
Neither was Gene Haas when he booted half his teams. Speaking of which, of the Gene Haas refugees, Josh Berry going over to the Wood Brothers. I'm going to be interested to see what that team does. They've got a strong buildup with Josh Berry, good crew chief, good team, Penske help. They want to be higher than what they were with Harrison Burton, which, God bless Harrison Burton, it just didn't work out. He's just not a Cup driver. And look, there's 3 national touring series in NASCAR. He can make money in trucks and Xfinity. It's just Cup ain't for everybody. And that's kind of what he learned, which is a hard lesson for somebody who saw his dad do it, and then he wanted to do it, got to do it, and it just didn't work out. So we wish him the best. But Josh Berry, do we think he can sneak a little win there? Get the 21 in the playoffs again?
Maybe. It's not entirely impossible.
Nope. Definitely not impossible.
It's going to be interesting to see what that team does, although I think Ford, at least Penske, they might struggle. That is a Ford connected, or that's a Penske connected team. Who knows? We could see what happens. I've been wrong before with these predictions, believe me. Do not take these to BetMGM or FanDuel or anything that's going to get a class action lawsuit in the next 10 years. That's all I'm saying about that. Continuing with our quick preview of the teams, Trackhouse. And these are just teams that are coming to the top of my head as we are getting ready for the season. Trackhouse Racing, please come to the front. Where were y'all last year? Ross Chastain has a down year. Daniel Suarez wins at Atlanta in that just incredible 3-wide finish. We think they're going to do something, and that team just falls flat. Now, I don't know if it's because they're doing too much. They have a MotoGP team now for some reason. They're going to run in the Rolex 24, but SVG, can't wait to see that. Hoping to get a selfie with SVG while I'm at the race. Their primary goal, though, is NASCAR. They do want to run Indy at some point. Their primary goal is NASCAR, and Suarez and Chastain, they got a lot of work to do. But I don't think either of those drivers are going to get fired if things don't go well. Chastain is the lifeblood of that team, and Daniel Suarez is best friends with one of the minority owners in Pitbull. So they're not going anywhere, but they're really good drivers, good teams to build around. They just got a rebound from what was a down year.
Yeah, every team has their down years, though. So I think they will rebound.
Speaking of rebounding, RFK Racing on their way back up. The 60, Chris Buescher definitely hauled the mail there. Brad Keselowski finally got that win as an owner driver. I think everything's going to flow through Buescher, but you got the 60 car that's going to be over there this year as well. 3-car operation for RFK. I think they've got an opportunity to go back up the rungs of the Ford teams to where they used to be. But also, you got Front Row Motorsports. 2 new drivers. We saw that team have some really good runs the last couple of years. They're looking to make some noise too. So I think the big thing with Ford is who gets out early to make themselves that number one team. Because whoever's the number one team at Ford, I think, is where they go for the rest of the year. And then that moves to my favorite team, 2311. They've got another driver.
Are they running?
They are actually, thank God.
Woohoo!
Front Row Motorsports as well. We got to have a conversation, though. I'm glad Riley Herbst is here. I know he has Monster money. Monster Energy, you have other flavors. Can you please put them on your car?
Yes, please. Thank you.
We have 3 Monster cars next year. Ty Gibbs, Riley Herbst, and Tyler Reddick. And they're the same damn paint scheme.
Are you kidding me?
Yes,
I'm not.
They have like 15 different cans. Come on. You can't change your cars?
Use the white. I might use the white one. The other one could be the black one, or the coffee one, or the berry one, or the green apple.
Why do they have a coffee monster?
Because extra death, Daryl. We
Do you want to explode your heart?
Some people do.
I swear, and I've been seeing that with a lot of the energy drink companies. Did everybody just see what Four Loko did and said, bet?
Yes.
No.
Like, Monster Energy has so many different cans. Let me see if I can share this with you.
I think there's green apple. I think there's blue raspberry. Like, come on now.
I mean, these are all the can colors of...
He's actually showing us all the can colors.
Yes, these are all the can colors of Monster Energy. Right there. Those are all your can colors. You don't have to use the black one for all your race cars. Please choose one of the other cans.
I'm not gonna lie, the blue and like yellow one will go hard.
Yes.
At Miami.
That orange and white one there at the top, that would also go hard. The blue and white one, I think, would be an awesome scheme. Use different colors, Monster, because somebody is wrecking because the wrong car gets spotted. I'm calling it right now. Somebody's going in a wall because the wrong spotter said they were clear when they weren't. And for the love of God, don't let those 3 cars get together.
Or somebody's going to crash the wrong driver
Or they're gonna finish
because
1,
they're
2, 3.
mad at somebody else.
Or they're gonna finish 1, 2, 3, and it's just gonna be very awkward.
Hold on, we got to let them get out of the car so we can see who's who.
I don't know how many times last year I saw Ty Gibbs spin and I thought it was Tyler when they were both running the monster schemes. Like, can we not? Like, come, you have different cans, Monster. Use them. But other than complaining about that, having 2 monster cars on the same team, Bubba Wallace finally got a new crew chief. I think we've been calling for that for several years now. So I won't have to get on that soapbox this year. Booty Barker's still at the team. I don't want to say this is put up or shut up for Bubba, but he has a new energy, had the new baby this year, who is absolutely adorable. And I don't know if that baby is going to melanate anytime because that baby looks just like mama. But he's got a lot of positive energy coming into this year. And it's going to be exciting to see what he does. Because I think 2311, they showed last year, they've got some speed. And if they can make 3 cars work, they're going to make noise and probably haul the mail for Toyota.
Yep, I believe it.
So NASCAR is going to be fun. They start, of course, with the Daytona 500, which we will be building up towards in February. And thank God we have pre-qualifying practice back for Daytona, because that was so stupid that we did not have practice for the Daytona 500. So the Cup cars will be able to have practice before qualifying and then practice afterwards. But the other exciting news out of there is we do have Helio Castroneves will be the 41st car in the Daytona 500 with the new provisional scheme that they're going with, where one driver can apply for a provisional to start the race if they are outside of NASCAR. So Helio Castroneves won 4 Indy 500s. It's going to get its chance with Trackhouse to win the Daytona 500. And wouldn't that be something if Helio Castroneves pulled that off, Michael?
That would be something. An IndyCar driver winning the Daytona 500. The scenes.
It'd be incredible. And it would be a great trivia question as well. Excuse me.
Yeah.
On the other side, the 66, MBM Racing, Carl Long, they're going to be looking for another driver, and it's late in the game because Mike Wallace, who was originally scheduled to run that car, was denied his entry into the Daytona 500 simply because he's been away for quite some time. It's been 10 years since Mike Wallace has done any real racing in NASCAR. So when we're coming into Daytona, we've had some issues with drivers staying away a long time, coming in and causing havoc. So he will not be running the Daytona 500. And we will see if MBM will be able to make the race. And it's just another long list of the NASCAR Rules Committee versus Carl Long. And it feels like there's a vendetta there, but there isn't, we promise. So the racing season in America, of course, will start in Daytona. The major leagues, we got the Rolex, we got the Daytona 500. After that, we'll have IndyCar coming up in February, sorry. Formula One starting as well. The motorsports season is starting up. We've got a lot of the weird undercard races as well. We had the 24 Hours of Dubai last week, which I'm going to be honest, I did not watch a single lap of because I forgot it was on, to be honest. It was bouncing around doing other things. But we've got, and this isn't a weird race, this is one of the premier endurance races, 12 Hours of Bathurst coming up, Supercars with their first playoff system. And, of course, we got Formula One. And, Michael, We're now on the same side going into this year
Are we?
with Ferrari.
Are we
I
on
don't
the
know
same
if there's gonna
side?
I don't know if there's going to be intra-squad rivalry between Leclerc and Hamilton, but
All right.
coming into-
in Bahrain, I expect to see you with your Ferrari hat.
I am not buying a Ferrari hat. Do you know how much those things are?
Just buy a random Ferrari hat. Nobody's gonna care.
Well, I'm gonna be at Daytona. They'll probably have one at the Rolex for hopefully cheap. Hopefully. But I will have to pick up a Ferrari hat. But
Don, join the red side.
yes. But the main
And
talking point for Formula One. There's two main talking points for Formula One. How will Red Bull rebound from a terrible year last year, and will Hamilton lead Ferrari back to victory in the World Drivers' Championship? As far as the Drivers' Championship question, maybe. We have to see how the testing goes. I think
Ferrari's
Claim-
bringing like
Right.
a whole new like a whole new car. They're not keeping the same concept. They're changing the concept.
it's going to
So
be
it could
interesting.
be bad, could be awful.
It could go
Could be
really
good.
well or go absolutely horrible.
We could have the F2004 again, or we could have the F14T.
Let's hope it's not the F14T. But will be interesting to see what happens in Formula One this year, especially with we have 6 new drivers on the grid, and none of them are at Aston Martin, where Lawrence Stroll is getting impatient. Well, I know one thing you can do, dude, if you want to get better, fire your son.
He's not gonna do that.
I've never heard you say that before.
It's funny
You
because
listen-
half the F1 community just wants somebody else in the Aston Martin seat.
Everybody in the Formula One community is like, Aston Martin would be so better if they just got rid of Lance Stroll. Unfortunately, Lawrence Stroll owns the team. He's not firing the kid, but he's not good.
Next thing you know, he'll get him off the seat, but next thing you know, he'll be like the manager or something.
Oh, geez, Lance is going to be the team principal when he retires, I guess.
Well, those that can't do teach. So
Yeah, but I don't think he can teach either.
I mean, have you just heard the man talk before? Like, I don't think I don't know, man.
Not great.
He sounds like he just sounds like he don't care about anything.
No, I mean, why would he? His dad owns the team. He's not getting fired. He's got no reason to try. That's how it is when you're not getting fired.
I mean, like I said, like I told you guys like last year, I still believe they're just gonna let Fernando, try, and then they're gonna let him go off to WEC because their WEC team has a lot of potential.
Yeah, I think
Especially with
Fernando won't.
Adrian Newey coming in, like actually designing the car. A lot of people think he's designing the car this year. No, he's gotta take a minute. If anything, he'll like design the 2026 or 2027 car.
And that's going to be great because that's going to be when the new regulations come in 2026.
Yeah,
So Newey's going to have his first crack at that, and it will be interesting to see what they do. And Fernando might have an opportunity to win the Drivers' Championship. They ain't winning the Constructors' Championship because they've got a Lance Stroll shaped albatross. hanging on
also,
the
they
back.
have a lot of heavy hitters in each team. Like Ferrari has like one of the most dangerous lineups I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Red Bull. If Liam can't do it, Max can. Mercedes, you have Antonelli, who's unproven, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
It's gonna be a learning year for him. I'm not expecting a lot out of him.
And Russell.
Mm.
Yeah. Aston, you might be in trouble. I'm not gonna lie.
Aston Martin's definitely in trouble because they have Lance Stroll on the team. Like, it's very simple. Is Lance Stroll still there? They are not a competitive team. And it's unfortunate because they should be a lot better. And it's another year until Cadillac. This is going to be the last year before Cadillac shows up.
That's another thing.
And
Cadillac is going to be a whole. Everybody's going to be watching what's going to be going on with Cadillac this year.
That team is going to be watched very closely. And I think the countdown to that is going to be watched very closely because we want to see who's going to be the drivers. I mean, that Daniel Ricciardo could have a chance to drive over there. Sergio Perez might find his way back in.
I really think they should get Perez.
Like, they're definitely
or Ricardo. Any of those guys will work, to be honest.
It's definitely going to be a team where they're going to have two veteran drivers to start to try to kickstart their development. And that means there's a lot of drivers that are on the outside right now that could be back in 2026. We could see Nico Hulkenberg come back to finally get that podium.
Could be.
It's going to be interesting to see who ends up getting into that spot.
In 2028, they said they were going to be having their own engine developed.
Yes.
So that'll be pretty interesting. Mm-hmm. Can we put like a sound enhancer on it and make it sound like a V8?
So it's going to be a very interesting racing season. We can't wait to bring it all to you. We get ready to get out of here for this edition of the Extra Mile. We're going to figure out when the next episode of the season is because next Monday I've got to get ready to fly out to Daytona. We'll try to play that by ear. It'll either be when I come back.
Are you flying to Daytona?
Yeah, we're going to fly out that Tuesday, which means we got to get some sleep Monday because we're flying out at like 6 in the morning. So we will play it by ear. Keep it locked to our social medias on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Blue Sky. And we'll let you know when episode 2 of the season begins. And make sure you keep it locked to my feed as well, because there's going to be way too much Rolex 24 content on there for you to see. But hey, that's it for episode 1 of the 2025 season of the Extra Mile. My name is Daryl for Jen and Michael. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you the next green flag. Good night, everybody.